Hold on one second.
Hey, hey, let me know when you're ready.
All right, hold on. Mia. All right, I'm ready.
Hey, hey, welcome to another episode of On the Couch with JC. Today we're gonna have a conversation with my man Marcus West. What's going on, Marcus?
What up, JC?
That's this. What's up, man? Hey, yeah, I told you I've been planning this podcast thing. I've been trying to do my thing with it. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. I'm just gonna get into your life here. I'm gonna ask about your upbringing. So we're gonna start off with you telling me where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Where you was raised in, and we just go from there.
All right, bet him up. So basically, same, almost same neighborhood as you. I'm from the west side or whatever, and my upbringing was pretty good. I had pretty positive and good parents. But my better years, as far as preteen and teenagers, a teenager, I should say. My granddad, he cuffed me in. He was older. He was born in 1915, so I'm 38. So that'll give you a synopsis of everything. So he kind of raised me. He gave me a lot of pointers on wisdom, life, and it kind of molded me and shaped me into the person that I am today. So, like I said, I'm from the West Side, Lawndale neighborhood. Nothing to throw up no fingers or represent for. But it's just where I'm from. Um, I wouldn't say I was privileged, but I had, a slight more advantage than most of the people in the neighborhood, just based off, my father's career and my mother's career. So, you know,
When
that's
you say
pretty
your
much without getting into too many details.
okay, but when you say your father's career and your mother's career, like you stayed with both your parents, or was they together, or was they
Yeah.
separated?
For the most part, they were together. So, my father, he owned a trucking company. He had maybe about 30 trucks, and then he owned a few scrap yards. So by being around that, and then I kind of spent a lot of time around that or whatever. It kind of molded me, and I had to grow up a little faster than a average 13, 14-year old would, and it shaped me into who I am now. You know what I'm saying? So um,
That's, that's basically where you get the truck driving thing from.
of course, of course, I started driving trucks, and I was about like, of course, legally I drove at the legal age, but man, I was playing around the yard from age 9, 10. I started driving, forklifts and front end loaders and stuff, just playing around. I had a lot of ambition growing up because I was looking up to, my father, family members, my grandfather, my uncles, My father kept his brothers around, hear it out. It might have been two brothers that stayed around more than others, but altogether it was 11 of them. I think it was 9 boys. So, pretty much. And anybody from the neighborhood, they'll know the Wests. Anybody that's born anywhere from 1975 and older in them years, between 1975 and 1940 and from the neighborhood, the Wests. So,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Now, question, because
yeah,
Miss West used to be the for London.
crossing
She
that.
used to be the cross of God. Who was she to you?
That's my aunt. So basically, one of my uncles was married to her, and they had a bunch of kids. I don't know. It should be up in the teens. I want to say 12, 13, 14 kids or whatever, somewhere up in there. But yeah, she was my aunt, and she worked at Lawndale, and then she went from Lawndale to Douglas and Kersey. Matter of fact, I just talked to her about a week ago. So she's still doing good. She's still doing her.
I swear that was gonna be my next question. How she doing? Is she still around? Because I know we was. I remember her from back when I can remember her as far as first grade. You know what I'm saying? Walking
Yeah,
over there to
yeah,
Apple, the school, then walking back to school. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm familiar with the West.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
bet I'm
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's my aunt, man, and we got a real decent relationship. It's one of my closer aunts. So yeah, we got a connection, and age catch up with you, man. She up there, she in the 80s somewhere, but
the fact
she,
that age is still around. That's what's up. Real
yeah,
talk.
yeah, man. Hey, I hope you live forever and I never die. That's the saying. So
Okay, so you basically grew up in a London area. Did you so did you hang on either Douglas or did you hang on Christiana? Like as a kid, what was you most of your younger years growing up? Was you?
Well, I was in and out the neighborhood for the most part. So I spent a year here, and I grew up a little bit in Oak Park. I grew up a little bit in Arlington Heights. Because of the advantages I had growing up, and my father always owned, some property on Christiana. So, that's why I'm from Christiana and 13. So, the property they own. So we'd be back and forth. But, you know, um, I would say, pretty much everywhere. I probably had about 5 nicknames around the neighborhood. I spent time on Douglas. Sometime I was on Christiana and 13. I might twinkle over to Spalding. Anywhere in the neighborhood, I was just I was an average, guy around the area. I'm 12th place Central Park. I was everywhere, Holman. And then at that time, I might have gained a whole lot of weight since then. But I played ball, I played basketball. So, I wasn't the greatest player. I wasn't Michael Jordan because I'm a truck driver, obviously. But, I knew a lot of people. Like I said, I had several nicknames just based on whatever the situation was or something like that. So it's memories worth memorizing. You got memories you want to forget. Being in that neighborhood is memories worth memorizing. So yeah, it was fun. It's done like it is now around there. You can't have fun like you used to. I remember going around with my uncles. I was a kid, of course. You had ABC. They used to do the little Lathrop tournaments and stuff. Playing ball.
Yeah.
You'd be watching. I can't remember the park. They used to be right there on 13th and Homan, but it was a little piece of shit park that was right there. So you never really realized, but just being around your people, seeing that. Then you got little hood legends, local legends and shit. You know how it go.
Yeah, that little piece of shit part you talking about right next to the ABC?
Right across the
That
street from
one?
ABC, across the street.
Yeah.
So it would actually be on Homan, and they had basketball rims and like a
Yeah.
little house or whatever, recreational
The
center.
shelter house. It was
Who?
called the shelter house. The
Yeah,
shelter house.
yeah,
The
yeah,
shelter
yeah,
house.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was it.
That
So,
was what was left of Lawson Grammar School.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
anybody in the
Yeah.
neighborhood will tell you, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I went to Lawson, the older cats, I went to Lawson, I went to Lawson. They'll make sure they
Yeah.
reiterate that and say, oh, I went to Hess. You know what I'm saying? That
Hey.
was another name. Hess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those were the days over there back in the day.
oh
The
yeah.
shelter house,
Oh yeah.
playing ping pong in there. So
Oh, yeah.
far as you say your father had a trucking company, and so he taught you the business. You know what I'm saying? Because talking to you, I noticed how so business savvy you are.
Yeah,
Business savvy you are. So he taught you the business at a young age. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because I'm older than you, but a lot of stuff I listen to you, I'm like, damn, he know a lot about this business. So I pick
Yeah.
up a lot of stuff by talking to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Um, so you ever had your own authority? Like when did you first own your first truck? What age was
It's kind of complicated because I kind of got passed on some stuff in the business, so I wouldn't say outright just went and got it. Of course, first of all, I'm the only boy. I'm my father's only son. My mother and my father's only son. So by me being the only boy, a lot of things was I would say a token to me, but to I guess round that up, it was that I was more of an inquisitive kid. I used
it?
to
Okay.
see my granddad, my father, my uncles doing stuff or in the office doing paperwork and having meetings and on conference calls. So I'm nosy, you know what I'm saying? I'm asked questions like, hey, what you talking to that guy about? Who was that guy right there? Like, why you talk to him like this opposed to talking to him like you talk to the other guys? Hey, why I couldn't come in the office when you was in there with him or, something like that, So, my father, my grandfather, they would, hit me to game. I give you a brief synopsis. So my grandfather, for a long while, I couldn't come in the office. They used to have offices at a couple of the
Mm-hmm.
shops, and they would never let me in the office. And I really didn't understand. And my granddad said, "Hey, in order for you to work in this office or understand what's going on in this office or these offices, you have to learn what goes on out here. You got to learn how to make your man respect you. Because my granddad was My grandfather was in the military. You know, he was actually in the Air Force and he was in the Army. So he did, I guess, like 4 years in one branch, 4 years in the other branch. So he was real militant, you know. And if anybody from our neighborhood remember him, you know, they'll tell you like he was militant. So he gave me a lesson, and that lesson he gave me was, um, it was with a broom. He told me, he handed me the broom. He said, "Son, sweep this floor." So I swept the floor. He said, "No, you ain't doing it right." So I'm looking at him like, "What the fuck you talking about? I ain't doing it right. I'm just sweeping the floor with a push broom." You know what I'm saying? So he like, "No, no, no.
Right.
Sweep the floor again. I'm gonna give you a second chance. Sweep that floor again." I swept it again. He said, "No. You know where you went wrong?" I said, "What?" He said, "You took the dirt and you swept it outside the door." So, you know, I'm 12, 13, you know, just really probably get some hair on my chest. So I'm like, "Hey, I don't want no dirt in here." He like, "No, no, no. You know, I learned from Jews, you know, a long time ago. You sweep your business in. You don't sweep your business out. You put it in the pile and you put it where it belongs." So I started from the opposite way. I swept my broom. I took the push broom and I swept it inside. And it was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it sounds like it's just, you know, a minor, you know, saying or whatever, but it meant a lot to me, you know. And it's actually something that's lacking on a lot of these younger kids today. You know, like learn little stuff from older people, you know. So I swept the business in, and you know, we got business. You know, it was those little things that taught me what I know now, and how I vision things now. And to capitalize on the question you asked earlier, I ask questions. A lot of people act like they know stuff. You know, if you don't know, say you don't know. And if you don't know, that means you learn. You know what I'm saying? You just
Right.
learn, you know, and that's what I learned, you know, just to say if you don't, you don't. And then, you know, when you know better, you do better.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you got passed down a truck, or
Yeah, yeah. So basically my father had got, you know, deeper into the junking business because the junking business is a little more lucrative and it's not as regulated as the trucking business. So what was left over, I kind of just grabbed and played around with on my own. And I jumped in a seat. You know, I jumped in a seat without a license. You know, and
mm,
I actually, you know, doing it because it was all dump trucks. It wasn't, you know, this 53-foot dry van, none of that shit, no tanker, nothing like that. It was dump trucks. You know, it was the gutter work. It's what, you know, it's the, I would say it's the blue collar work of dump trucks. You know what I'm saying? It's not the white collar, it's the blue collar work of trucking, should I say. So
okay.
I hopped in there and I actually got, you know, weighed up at scales and everything, interacted with law enforcement, and they never asked for a license. I only had a ticket one time for, you know, driving a truck with no license. And that was because I was in Indiana, and that's a whole nother story. But man, I was out there, and that's one thing I learned. I know I'm probably putting the bucket before the horse on this one, but that's what I learned about business. You know, you got to have balls, and you got to break all the rules. People who follow the
Mm-hmm.
rules, it take a long time to go somewhere in business. You start breaking the rules, you know, you kind of get a little bit of ups on somebody. You know, that's just the way it works, and you can't follow the system because the system is structured for you to actually move according to the system. But if you're not moving according to the system, you get ahead just slightly faster. You learn lessons, whether they're good lessons or hard, you know, fucked up lessons for you. You learn them, you know.
Yeah. 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 So you started off with dumping. When did you go into the next step into the industry as far as with the semis and the 53 footers and all that? Did you jump from dumping to dry van, or did you go to containers, or
So
or tanker?
so let me tell you, it's just me, okay. You know, my wisdom, my mentality kicked in, okay. When you're in a junking
Right.
business, in the scrapping business, it's almost like selling drugs. And I'll say this to say this much, you know, first of all, when you got a scrapyard going, I have my own scrapyard going. It was going pretty good. That's a whole different topic. I don't know if you'll touch on it later or not. But um, it's almost like you're selling drugs, and I say it's because you're dealing with people of all natures. You know, primarily people in a tough period of their life, or people that just got a career of junking. And I mean drug addicts. You got people that do it every day. But you got more drug addicts than anything. So you got people that's out here in a point and period of desperation in their lives. So when they in that form of desperation, they'll do anything to get it. They steal stuff, they do stuff. So you know, with crime related to that business comes regulation, and those regulations are enforced by the police department. So, or either, you know, other agencies with the city or, you know, municipals or the state, you know, for that much, or the county. So I felt like I was a drug dealer because not only you had to watch out for a crackhead trying to steal from you or breaking your spot, you got the police, you got schemers and scammers. They all come in trying to really play on you. You know, you got the police running game on you. You got regulations that the police enforce, and those enforcements are toughly regulated because of the color of your skin. You know, it ain't no secret. You know, you got black guys. We was the only black people in business, in that type of business, forever. I don't even think it's a black person in that business now. And so you got these people of color in the business, and you know, they put their foot down on your neck so you'll never get up. And I got tired of that. I got tired of feeling like I was selling drugs. I'm like, man, I could just go sell drugs if I'm gonna do this. Let me find what's the next best thing. And the first thing I want to find out is what I know. So, you know, so many people get in businesses and don't know the business. They just heard somebody else made money in it. But I knew trucking and I knew the basics of it. And I knew that I caught on quick. So what I did was I had a little money saved up, and I grabbed me an older Mac because I knew just based off trucking that, hey, you got a Mack truck. It's a perfect first truck. It could take a beating. You know, you can miss a few oil changes. You can, you know, you can ride on some bad shocks or, you know, little parts, and it'll last. You know, you might not have no AC, but you know what I'm saying. You're gonna be able to stretch it. So I grabbed one of them. I went to a container company. You know, when I went to that container company, I watched them play on this Mexican cat. You know, because he didn't know, the Mexican cat couldn't speak no English hardly. So, you know, I'm a sneaky motherfucker sometimes, you know, just for knowledge. So what I did was I went and looked through the little mail slots they had. And me and this Mexican cat, I don't remember his name, I just know his face. He had the same load, same location in Indiana that I was going to. And don't quote me, but I'm just saying the rate probably just said the rate was $600 to go to Indiana. They gave him 400 and they gave me 600. And that's because I was outspoken, you know, and I was, you know, in a professional manner. You know, I keep professional. And I was outspoken, and I'm gonna make sure I get what's supposed to come to me. But they gave him $400 for a load that should have been 600. And I'm like, you know, the average person be like, shit, well, I got mine. You know what I'm saying? I got mine. You know, shit, fuck him. But I'm looking at like if they fucked him, they'll fuck me, and they probably fucked me. And it could have been with the rubber or with some grease or without. I don't know. So I stepped away from it. I stepped back and I analyzed. I say, hold on. I remember I did a load at this company, you know, well, with the company I was with, they did a load. They picked up a chassis at another company. And I'm like, man, we did some tank work because I always have, on my license, if I show you my license right now, I get every option, not option, but every endorsement you can get from charter bus to passenger. I always take it all the way. I try to go to the max on whatever I can go on. So I had I got all the endorsements, just about every endorsement they had, if not every endorsement. So, you know, worst case scenario, my plan A, B, and C will be related to I go drive a Greyhound bus or go drive for a football team. Anything, you know, I keep that. And it's all because, you know, I've been in failure before. And I you know, I work hard because I don't wanna go broke. So that's why I do it. But yeah, I went to this company, man, and we went and picked up a right off 47 Essential. We went and picked up a chassis, and they hooked up put a tank on there. I'm like, man, it's kind of sweet for the tank because, you know, the races had. I'm the only one at the company with tanker on my license, so they throwing these loads my way. I'm like, man, I can get that business, you know. And I got in tanking, and man, I've been doing chemicals. You know, I don't think I can get out of chemicals because, you know, the money, you know, pretty decent, and it's a lazy man's job, and I'm a fat lazy motherfucker sometimes. So that's just the way it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I tell somebody I drive tank, they be like, "Oh yeah, you getting that money," and I always tell them, I said, "Yeah, it's decent money, but if you ask me, if we were to rate them, you know, from the tanking, the dry van, the flatbed, I always look at it from the people I talk to. I I always say those guys that haul the cars, they at the top of the tag. And then you got your flatbed, and then you got your tank. You know what I'm saying? I think we make more than the dry van. We do more better than the containers. But talking to some of these flatbedders and talking to some of these guys that haul the car, shit, you got the company drivers making almost as much money as us owner operators. That's hauling cars.
That's at some companies, but anybody that's getting into the trucking business, I always tell them rule number one. It's an old-fashioned rule. You never heard it before. It ain't even got to relate to trucking, but I put it to trucking. Believe nothing you hear and very little you see. And anybody that's a truck driver, I tell you, truck drivers are the biggest liars in the fucking world. Period. I've heard more lies around. Seriously, I've heard more lies around truck drivers than I heard in any other business line of work, anything. Truck drivers are liars, man. That's they lie, and I call it dick measuring. Hey, my dick bigger than yours. They do that,
but I don't get it. Then if that's the case, about how much money you make it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had guys try to get me over there. Man, you need to come on over here and do this flatbed. Well, man, you need to come on, get over here and pull these cars, man. We doing this. We doing these type of numbers. I said, man, your numbers sound good, especially with the cars. I said, your numbers sound good, but my ass, I don't feel like tying down each and every one of these cars, especially guys that have like 8 cars. The 8-car trailer or the 6, 7-car trailer. I ain't got time to be tying that shit down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I never went that route. Because I got a guy in that route, he tried to get me over, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like tying that shit down. Then you fuck something up, you broke it, you bought it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I never wanted to go that route, but from the money aspect, I don't see why would you even tell me that you making this type of money if you really ain't making that type of money.
That's just what it is. So look, I'll tell you what if we give them guys the benefit of the doubt? And I'm gonna say one thing about tanking. Consistency. Tanker work has a consistency as far as money wise. So like right now, we just went through the pandemic with all that shit, or we coming out of the pandemic, should I say. So since we coming out of the pandemic, have our rates went up or down? No, they still about the same. If anything, they going up. If anything, going up. So with them going up, it's it's not market based. So it's not demand based, or prostitution and pharmaceuticals is one industry that's never gonna end. You got more billionaire pharmacists, you got more super millionaire trucking companies than a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And no, or I'm telling you, or prostitution. We know some pimps that make money, officially or unofficially. So we know that. And those are the industries that's gonna make money. So tanking, oil, and stuff like that, because we're dealing with products that's based off of oil. I'm trying to fix my device here. Yeah. But we're dealing with products that's made from oil. You're gonna make money. It's there. It's raw material. You need this. You need oil for everything. I'll give you a synopsis. I was talking to a guy. He pulled out of I want to say Pennsylvania, out of Pennsylvania terminal, with us. And he told me, he said, man, I'm on a dedicated run. On one end, I'm delivering like some purified oil. And when I drop the purified oil, I'm picking up a load of paint. We forget little shit that goes along with oil. And JC, we haul shit that we can't even fucking pronounce, but it's still related to oil. This oil-based stuff. Why you think they so thirsty to come up with electric cars? Them electric motors gonna need some oil or some grease somewhere down the line. So it's more consistency to me in the tanking in the chemical business. Period. Whatever goes, whatever comes, we still gonna need that. Ain't nobody gonna buy no house and not throw no paint on the walls. Ain't nobody gonna fry the chicken without no grease. And we do food grade. We haul more grain alcohol than a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you honestly got a point there. Looking at it from your perspective, shit, I chose the right route then. You know what I'm saying? Because
we chose the right route.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And it's crazy because up to this point, when people ask me about trucking, I'll be like, man, it just pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? They be like, man, you like driving? I said, man, not really. It just pays the bills. It wasn't until I got with the company I'm with now where I actually be like, man, I love my job. You know what I'm saying? It's the decent money. It's the freedom. Because even as an owner operator, and I've been an owner operator since 2014, and I never seen to have that type of freedom that I really wanted. No matter what company I got with, it seemed like I didn't really have that freedom, so I came over here to where I'm at. Yeah. It's a little bit more freedom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, you know, like this. You know, I always started, and even when I'm talking to the dispatchers, I'll be like, man, you know what? I really don't want to turn you down, or I really don't want to do this or that because I don't need you having an attitude now. You treat me a certain type of way. And they be like, no, we can't treat you a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? You your own boss, you know, whereas other places, if I be like, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I'm doing that, it's like, oh, you want to, okay, I got you. You know, if you know where I'm from.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're gonna pay for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So tanking is. So, you got into tanking, and so how many trucks have you owned so far in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, you know, it depends on how you add it. You know, with the business with my father, there was quite a few. I don't know. I think it was probably like 11 or something. But with on my own, maybe like 3. You know, and like I said, I'm all the way down to 1 right now. You know, and we in an era when everybody got trucks, so you got novices that's buying trucks just to say they got a truck, and they taking loads that shouldn't be even driven by a person that owns a truck. You know, so it's bad on one end, but it's healthy for the business, all in the same stroke of a sentence, because it keeps the cycle going. It keeps the good companies going. It keeps the good owner operators going. It's making good money. And it benefits us because we're in a regulated industry as far as tanking. You know what I'm saying? We're in a regulated industry. So it benefits us a lot. You know, it's a cycle. And we need that. It's like, you know, you look at it like this, you know, on this earth, you got 2 different people. You got bosses and you got employees. What would one be without the other? We need that. You got failures. People need to fail. You know, certain people that's trying to be a boss don't need to be a boss. Certain people that's trying to, you know, be a model employee shouldn't even be in the position to be an employee. They should be a boss. But it's up to you to identify what you stand at on the food chain. And more than likely, you know, people fuck up what they think they're in the food chain because everybody think they're a boss nowadays, and it don't work like that, you know.
That's true. That's true. But shit, you said you had 11 trucks in your lifetime? God damn, whether they get passed down to you or not, shit, that's still a lot of trucks. Hell, I mean, right now, I only have 1, but in my lifetime, as far as being an owner operator, this is my 4th truck. I was at a funeral earlier today, and it's one of my friends that drive trucks, and he was like, you know, because I always, you know, I'm on social media, but I don't. When I'm on social media, I don't post every fucking thing, and I don't post negative shit. I don't post shit happen. Like I don't look for the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't look
for that validation.
Yeah, no. Hold on. I don't look for the sympathy because I only post shit that not trying to brag, but shit I'm proud of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's say when I get my next truck, I'm gonna post that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's an accomplishment that yeah.
Exactly. So I didn't post 4 trucks so far because I hadn't had 4 trucks. So the guy was like, man, Joe, how many trucks you got now? You got about 3 of them by now, right? Because I posted about 4 trucks. And I'll be like,
yeah.
I only got 1. You know what I'm saying? I done had 4 trucks.
Right.
2 of them on me. You know what I'm saying? And the last one I had, I gave that motherfucker away. And I didn't want it no more. It was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they like, damn, Joe, but you know, I don't know I don't know what was going through his mind at the time. Was he thinking like, damn, that nigga was fronting? or what? You know what I'm saying? Because he don't know the situation. Because all I post is my accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? So in the outside world eyes, they probably thinking, and it had me thinking, they probably thinking like, damn, this nigga got about 4 trucks. When in all actuality, I only got 1 truck. I had in my lifetime 4 trucks, but I only got 1 truck as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So, but to have 11 trucks and to go through 11 trucks at your age, but how long you been driving?
Since I was put like this, legally since the legal age, but before then, you know.
Legally, how old?
Since I was 21 legally, you know, 21, you know, so I can go across state lines. But I started driving when I was like 9, 10, maybe 11, somewhere up in there, between 9 and 11. That's when I started driving. You know, and I'll give you a funny story. I'll give you a funny story. I don't know if it's funny to you or whoever else, but it's kind of funny to me. So it was a dude that used to work for my father, you know, back in the day. And back in the day, you know, your CDL was a piece of paper. You didn't have no fucking printed shit from the Secretary of State. You had a piece of paper. So it was this dude named Sam used to drive my old man. And I remember when I got in the truck with him one day, he pulled out a pint of fucking Wild Irish Rose, Richards. You know what I'm saying? In the truck and asked me did I want a sip. I'm like, no, man, I'm only, you know, 10. No, I can't do that. And he was the first person that took me out on the street. You know, my father wrote the gear pattern down for me to learn how to drive. He pulled me on the street. He said, hey, man, get in here. You know your gears, right? I said, hell yeah. He said, all right, push that motherfucker to the flow. I said, all the way to the flow? He said, nigga, to the flow. I pushed it to the flow and I was gone. I've been driving ever since. And that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like you push it to the flow, you know, and man, that's how I started. You know what I'm saying? So I've been driving a long time, you know, according to my age. You know, guess what? 38, so I've been driving 28 years.
Wow. And I got my CDL, because I ain't started driving, so I got my L. So and my family, on my basically my siblings, their family been in the trucking business as long as I've known them. And my mama was married to that family. My mama been with that was with that man when I was like in first grade. So I've been around, but I didn't get my CDL till 2005. So 2000, I've been driving now for about 16 years.
Yeah.
And shit, basically you've been driving longer than me. You know, even though you're younger than me, and you probably didn't have your CDLs as long as I had mine, but you actually have more experience than I do.
Right.
So when we talk, all right, so let's get into this as far as business aspect. Because I remember I called you and we were talking about how to go about the taxes, and you right. Those that don't know, can you break down the best way to go about it if you got your skills, you are owner operator, how to go about it so you can do your taxes right?
So I'm gonna say this: it all depends on your situation. You know, so if your situation right, or your situation complicated, or whatever, you know, me personally, I feel like if I could do it over and start over, I would just W-2 myself the whole check. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you get, W-2 yourself. Because then you know, you're gonna end up probably not getting a return. You're gonna pay regardless or whatever. You know, a lot about these taxes I refuse to talk about on you know, on a podcast. But you know, I would say W-2 yourself, and you an expense to your company. You know, you start your company, W-2 yourself as your company, and once you W-2 yourself, then you know, it's easy to
not to cut you off, but before you go farther along, and I forget to ask that question, how do you go about W-2? What are the procedures, the process to W-2 yourself? What do you have to do to W-2 yourself if you're an owner operator?
Yeah, without going into a whole lot of detail, you know, and first of all, I'm not a tax consultant or a business consultant, but you know, I've been around. So I would say, you know, start your corporation, whether it be LLC or S Corp, C Corp. I prefer a S Corp, you know, and with an S Corp, I would just obtain me a payroll service, because the money you pay towards a payroll service, excuse me, you're gonna end up filing that as an expense of your company anyway. And you get your payroll service and you payroll yourself. Some guys just do $500 a week. You do $500 a week. You $500 a weekend. What's that? 20,000 a year. So you 20,000 a year. $20,000 worth of expense to your company, and then you write off your anything from repairs all the way down to your phone bill, your glasses, your PPE or your wash wash fluid, what, $2-3. You found it all the way down to that. Then you use yourself as an expense. But to me, and it's debatable, but to me, I think the easier way to do it, once you do that, instead of W-2ing yourself $500 or $1,000 a week, you W-2 yourself the whole check. So if you're making $4,000 a week, shit, you're getting paid like a doctor now. You're getting paid a doctor salary. You make $3,000 a week, you still getting paid like a doctor. You make $6,000 a week, you're getting paid like a surgeon. So that's what you do. You W-2 yourself. To me, you W-2 yourself your whole check, and that whole check is an expense to your company. And then you figure in, mathematically what are your expenses, as far as repairs and whatnot. Rather you do it that way. You get you a decent accountant that's familiar with the trucking industry, because a lot of people get, Bo Risha, who's been doing taxes for the last few years down the street, and she's just trying to hustle, not knocking her. That's a hustle. But
right.
You don't want to get yourself caught up in this jam at the same time. So, do it the right way. It's not hard to start a corporation. You can start a corporation in 4 hours, off of your phone. It's easy. So, matter of fact, whoever listening, people don't need to pay nobody to do a corporation. You can do it off of your phone through emails and go to, the UPS store and start you a little box or some shit. It's super simple. It's so easy a baby can almost do it, Go there and do your shit, do it yourself. And if you don't know, find you somebody that you can ask. And if you're around people, or you got people in your circle that you can't ask or you can't trust, get rid of them motherfuckers. Don't hang around them. You know what I'm saying? It's irrelevant to have people around that don't benefit you and you can't benefit them. It's a shitty relationship. You get a short end of the stick, right off the jump. Don't fuck with them. Find somebody else to hang with. It's just that simple, because life is short. If you waste your time with some shitty motherfuckers, you can end up with a shitty life. I'm not saying like I got the greatest life in the world, but that's just the motto I live by. Right. Fuck them people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So basically, you say W-2 yourself. You know what I'm saying? As far as the business wise, you W-2 yourself and pay yourself $500 or whatever you just choose to do it. That's the best way to go about business as far as tax. Because if it's a lot of owner, I know a lot of guys that's owner operators, but they have made so much money that they haven't done their taxes because they don't want to pay. They don't want to do that big payout. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them doing that payout, because hell, I could be, I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them. But luckily, I have somebody that's good with taxes to help me do my taxes, help me with the write-off and everything. Where when it's time for me to pay, I'm not paying thousands because I know what I have to write off. Where I got guys that owner operators, they don't know what to write off. They don't have that person that does taxes, and so they be like, man, I'm not gonna do my taxes, or I ain't gonna file my taxes because shit, at the end of the year, I'm gonna have to pay like $5 to $10 grand. You know what I'm saying? What a lot of owner operators have to pay out that don't know no better is what a lot of these motherfuckers get. Then they got kids and stuff when they file taxes that make under the 50,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so yeah, them knowing, I'm hoping a lot of guys get a chance to look at this so they can understand the best way to go about it, because they keep going year after year after year. I know some people that went 5 years without doing taxes. They gonna bite you in the ass in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm gonna add to this. This go along with what I said earlier. That's why it's so good to get in a business that you know. And if you don't know, you educate yourself on a business that you get involved with. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. You have to educate yourself on whatever business that you get involved with. And if you don't know, find somebody to read about it. I mean, anything for dummies. I was reading a book about shipping for dummies. You can find a way how to ship something here. You know what I'm saying? Almost anything. It's just simple as I put it in Bible terms. You know, I'm a Bible scholar about. So I'm definitely not a saint by a long shot. The Bible says, God's people perish from a lack of knowledge. So educate yourself on try to learn it. You know, when you know better, you do better. You know, so if you really got a desire to get into the trucking business or get out and do something, then hey, educate yourself. It ain't just buying no truck. You know, I was talking to a guy earlier. Matter of fact, I sold him a truck. He took the truck to a mechanic and he told him he need a new motor and new trans. And he stood on it. I've been knowing him longer than I knew the mechanic. And he stood by this mechanic. I had to actually have somebody else that I know on three-way with him to explain to him the same thing I've been trying to tell him. You cannot trust these mechanics because they trying to make money. So, of course, if you go in there needing a flat fix, they're going to tell you need a tire. You know, that's just, can't knock them because they hustling. They trying to make some money. But they catching you, the uneducated person, on the business. So educate yourself on all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? People see it. People good with this. They do this for a living. They can look at the way a person walk when they walk in their shop and like, oh, this motherfucker don't know what the fuck he talking about. Or this motherfucker look like he ain't got a confident walk. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, yeah, I got me one. Hell, I know a lot of mechanics that called me and said that same thing. Oh yeah, I got me one. I got me one.
Yeah.
You don't know shit. I don't know shit.
Hey, you go in for an oil change, they end up being the transmission. Come on, man. What? No. And that's just the way. That's the way it works, man. These people hustling. I can't help them, but I'm not a person that ain't educated themselves about what they get into. I mean, think about it. Hey, I don't mind saving a life. So I'm just gonna wake up one day and say, hey, I'm a doctor, let me do surgery on you. What? No. You gotta go to school for that shit. You gotta get educated. It's just that simple. And people look at it like it's just driving trucks. Trust me. I've been around all my life. I done heard and seen everything. It ain't as simple as people think.
All right, so now I'm gonna change the subject here. I want to get into this. This is another thing that I'll be listening to you. You know what I'm saying? We talk a lot about is this stock. You know what I'm saying? This stock industry. You know what I'm saying? I'll be pushing it. What I may learn about it, because I'm still learning the stock. You know what I'm saying? How to do stock, how to play the stock. But I try to push it on the others. Like a lot of the stuff I didn't learn basically from you. You know what I'm saying? And you could be old to a lot of things as far as like the what to buy this stock. So let's get into this stock. All right. I already know you got the Dogecoin. You know what I'm saying? I got some too. How do you feel about the Shiba Inu, this new stock that they've been talking about lately?
Well, I'm not real knowledgeable about the Shiba coin, but I will tell you this much. I'm not on no social media. I don't list myself on no social media. But
hold on, because I don't know what it is when you're talking. Like I hear you, and then it seems like you either getting too close to the mic or something like that.
Let me move it back a little bit.
Okay. Now say something.
How about now?
Yeah. Okay. Now,
all right.
Now break it down.
So I don't know a whole lot about Shiba coin. I don't know what we got an echo here, but
it might be. Hold on, let me see something. Let me cut this down. Go ahead.
How about now?
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about Shiba coin, but I'm gonna tell you this much. Certain things I don't know about. First of all, I'm gonna tell you I don't know about it. But if I was to go buy Shiba coin or Sushi coin or whatever else, what I do is I get online and I follow a lot of people's opinion, and I try to network with people that's in it that have done something in the business. So I mean, I'm gonna give you a scenario, and I'll probably be giving you scenarios or been giving you scenarios the whole time. So I was watching a documentary on Netflix. I'm a big documentary dude, first of all. You know, and I watch the documentary and I be, researching, shit on the side as I'm watching it. I might pause it and be reading something online for about 45 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever, just to kind of confirm what I'm reading, because people lie, But I'm watching this documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Varsity Blues. So it's basically about
Hold on, I'm gonna write that down. 1 minute.
Yeah, Varsity Blues.
And that's a blues, right?
Yeah.
And that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. And it was ranked pretty high, I guess, for a couple of weeks or whatever. So basically, this documentary was about how rich white people, and people with influence by celebrities and stuff like that, and in that realm of things, how they actually was paying this particular guy a cut with a deal on getting their kids to schools, to colleges. So they would pay this man money and he would readjust and shit and get them to a college like Stanford, Harvard, Princeton, or whatever, be a polo team or a golf team, little shit that you can kind of slip through the crack with. But I started asking myself, how would this guy be getting this much money from these people when they can really just educate their kids? They had a resource, they had the money to really pay for their kids to have tutors and everything else. So why would they actually pay a person to do it? But it's that desperation of influence. So you get this college, you get a college, and your roommate might be a son or a daughter of a Fortune 500 executive. So that leads to say, I'm just trying to say, you want to network with people. You want to get a network with people that know something or that can give you a little bit of information on something. When they get a little bit of information, it goes a long way. A little bit can take you a long way. So you get around people that's actually in the crypto market, and you educate yourself on what you can find, you educate yourself on, but it's always more. You never content with nothing. It's more information or something. It's more. So when it comes to crypto or whatever, hey, I can tell you only so much. Somebody else will tell you more, and somebody else will tell you more than that person told you more. So when it comes to Shiba Coin or whatever, I don't know a whole lot. But am I willing to invest $100? I don't know who would be. Especially nowadays when people getting stimulus money and these 20K loans, take $100, just throw it in something. You never know. On so much other bullshit. You waste $100 on some liquor, some weed, or whatever floats your boat. Food. You're going to a restaurant and blow $100 like it's nothing. But then you won't invest in $100 in something that you don't know about. It's worth the risk, because eventually we're gonna have some form of cryptocurrency that we're using.
Right. And yeah, that's why I invested in it. I actually bought a couple of million of the Shiba coin.
Yeah,
because it's so cheap right now. So even hell, at this point, I think Shiba coin is like 0.00008. So hell, you can spend $8 and buy a million of the Shiba coin. Now,
so look, hold on, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna give you a synopsis before I forget. Bitcoin and Dogecoin, okay? First of all, you got influencers on both of those. You got Elon Musk that's influencing those. So he can tweet out something and it's skyrocket. He can tweet out something else and the prices fall through the ground. But the difference is, I think today is what Dogecoin is 29 cents a share. Man, I remember it was just a half a penny. So if you invested $100, you had a shit ton of this shit, and that same $100 is worth, what, a couple thousand now. So you have missed out on something real good for some money you waste. You can take even 30 or 25 bucks. It wouldn't hurt, and you can. It's a million different platforms you can trade on. You just never know, you just go out there and waste that shit.
And that's the example I use when I preach to people to get into this stock. I be like, man, that money you might waste on a drink. You know what I'm saying? So when you buy this stock, look at it. Okay, that's the money. Hell, I know some guys go out there and buy, for instance, a fifth of Avion costs like $30. You see what I'm saying? And I'll be looking at. I tell the person like, man, that $30 you'll spend on that fifth, man, buy you some stock with that, and look at it as, man, that's a drink I just bought. You know what I'm saying? Look at it as that instead of, because when you talk to us blacks about investing, a lot of people from the hood don't know what the fuck that means, to invest. It don't always mean, all right, buy a building or a car, or a car really ain't an investment. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, you buy a car, the moment you drive that motherfucker off the lot, it ain't worth shit no more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I try to find a way to influence them to get into stock. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that's always been the white man hustle. That's how I look at it, as a white man hustle. You know, our hustle has been some shit up in the streets. The white guys, they hustle on this stock. A lot of people became millionaires off this stock. So shit, if I got a chance to become a millionaire, hell, I'm trying any and every way. Whether it be this trucking.
So look, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna pause you right there. You gotta remember though. So these white folks is out here investing in stocks. They invest in stocks because that's what they do, and that's what they were taught. So I give you another story. And I run stories down all the time. I remember I told you, you know, I went to school to Oak Park, I went to school to Fulton Heights, you know, in a couple of suburbs. And the difference from the Chicago public schools versus the suburban public schools is they have economic classes. We don't have economic classes in the majority of Chicago public schools. So the average high school graduate do not know how to sign a check. They don't know the basics of a bank account. They get their checks and they will go cash them at the currency exchange, which is actually just it's an ignorance that's just being tolerated and it's making somebody else rich, and primarily Italians and Jews. So I would say just, you know, this whole way we live in the black community, not only African American, because I don't know nothing about Africa, I'm black. So in a black community, you have breeding ignorance. So your grandmother didn't know nothing because she went and cashed a check at a place or whatever. Now you see your grandmother cash and your grandfather cashing a check somewhere. You go do the same thing. So it's like ignorance breeding ignorance. You know, your grandmother was like, you know, on SSI. You know, she get her once a month check. So you content with that because you seen her surviving off there. So it just trickles down to the next generation. Generation after generation is doing the same thing over and over again, breeding ignorance over. Break the cycle. I hear plenty of people saying, hey, I'm going to go to college because my family is with the college. I'm going to buy some property because my family is bought some property. That's the way it should be. You should use the ignorance as an influence to actually get something more than what you already have.
Yeah. But like you said, it's a generational thing because a lot of guys I know that I grew up with don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? And I came from the same area as them. The only difference is, you know, for example, my mother's side, they will be somewhat. I would say my mother's side is like the low class. Not to knock them, but they low class. Whereas my father's side was somewhat middle class. So I saw both. I never experienced the high class, but when I say middle class, meaning my father's side, they own property. You know what I'm saying? They had good jobs. Whereas on my mother's side, you know, basically when I would say they was blue collar. Like for instance, my mother, the only job I ever seen her work in was at a grocery store. You see what I'm saying? They live from check to check. You know what I'm saying? She broke before that next check even come. You know what I'm saying? So she basically living back like that. Whereas on my father's side, I seen them where they have bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? They own their property. They got credit cards. So I was able to learn from both sides, learn about the streets, being around this low class family, then learning somewhat of how to save and what to do with my money, invest my money by being around my father's side of the family. But I know people that there's only both sides. They mother and their father's side is low class, so they don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to knock them or saying saying that basically that I will be better because I seen both, but I just know they don't know because this is all they seen. You know, it is what their parents done, as you say. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you try to preach it to them, it's like when you talking to somebody that don't know that much, it isn't that they don't want to learn, but they get somewhat I see guys get kind of
offended.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like to them, it look like you, man, what you think you better than me because you doing this or you doing that or you know this and you know that, and it's like no, dog. And all I kind of if I wasn't preaching this to you, I wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? I care, so that's why I'm sharing this shit with you.
Exactly.
You know, I'm telling you this stuff not to bring you down or make you feel a certain type of way. I'm trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, some guys get offended. I don't know if it's a pride thing or what it is, but man, it's hard trying to get through the guys about being better. If that's the best word to use for this.
Hey, that's why I say, man, if you know better, you do better. You know, it's you breeding ignorance is breeding ignorance, and I say ignorance is like not knowing, not being able to comprehend those things because you know it's the will to comprehend. And a lot of people don't have that willpower, you know, to comprehend. And so if you can get somebody out here that got the will and they got the charisma to relate to somebody else to comprehend, you gotta have that willpower, man. You gotta have that desire, and that goes along with the people that so like I told you earlier, or I mentioned earlier, should I say, if you got friends around you that on that level, man, if you can network with them, you need to get rid of them. Why are you around people that just keeping you entertained? You got YouTube now. You got Facebook. You can be entertained all you want. You need people that's around you that's actually going to take you to your next level. I need to be able to take the people I'm around to the next level, and they need to be able to take me to the next level. And if you can't do that, and I can't do that for you, what the fuck are we around each other for?
Yeah. And it's fucked up that I be actually feeling that way when I'm around some of my friends that I grew up with. I go around them and it's like, man, what the fuck am I sitting around here for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I go back in my old hood where I hang out at sometimes, and I'm sitting there having a drink, smoking a cigarette, sitting on the porch, talking about certain shit, and it's like knowing how dangerous it is nowadays, and we just sitting there talking about bullshit, and the bullshit we talking about is shit that I'm trying to put behind me. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, why the fuck am I sitting here? And it's fucked up. I feel kind of bad because it's like, man, these is my friends, but they ain't even talking the type of shit that I want to talk about. Or they ain't even trying to do the type of shit that I'm trying to do. They cool with just being here, sitting on this fucking porch, talking about
surviving.
Yeah, I'm trying to find words to not offend them, because I'm hoping they see this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to find the words to not offend some of my guys and shit, or some of the people that I hang around, because I still call them friends, even though I don't come around much. And it's not that because I think I'm better than them or anything. It's just that, man, I'm on some whole other different type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to look.
I don't mean to cut you off, but check this out. I always tell people I'm doing the same thing anybody else. I'm doing the same thing. I'm living my life the same way anybody else can. But it's all a matter of willpower. What you willing to do for yourself. What type of time are you willing to invest in yourself? Invest in the future? You know what I'm saying? It's a cycle. Are you gonna continue the same thing? Look at your Uncle Willie. Look at your Uncle Larry. What they're doing. The same shit. Getting up, standing outside, looking around at what everybody else doing, watching life go by. So if you watching life go by, you just watching it. You don't have no control over it. Get a little bit of control. You don't need no but just a little bit. That's all you need. And if you get that little bit that you need, you got a little bit of control, you can enhance yourself. Baby step. You know? But guys don't want to do it, man. They get trust me. Let me tell you, I'm 38 years old, and in my life, I met a lot of millionaires. I can tell you about millionaires I've met. They're never content. Never. They don't feel so comfortable. They're like, I can just sit right here. It's always more. It's always better. They're always going to execute. Always got a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. Yeah. Because plan A might not work. Plan B might not work. What's your next step? Ask yourself question.
And that's a lot of my friends' problem. They settle for what they got. You know what I'm saying? They settle with working at a company and being an employee. You know what I'm saying? They settle with oh man, and it's not to knock none of these people that I'm talking about, but I had motherfuckers tell me like, man, Joe, I'm making $25 an hour, I'm making $30 an hour, and I'm like, oh man, that's what's up. But honestly, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, shit, that ain't.
It ain't. You know what I'm saying? We run from $25, $35 an hour. It's more to that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when they tell me that, I don't be like, oh man, I don't tell them to their face like, man, there ain't no money. I just be like, because the fact that my guy's willing to get out there and get a job, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that's what's up. So I don't try to knock them down. But then I turn around and bring up some, like, man, we need to get together. Let's come together and start some type of business. You know what I'm saying? Well, some guys be like, nah, I'm content with what the fuck I got going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to rent this crib. When fuck renting, fuck paying bills. Let's think about owning some shit. You know what I'm saying? And okay, like you said, everybody want to be a quote unquote boss. But let's really be fucking bosses. You know what I'm saying? Let's really look towards trying to be a boss. Let's look towards never settling for what the fuck we have and try to get more. Cause yeah, when I make more, like honestly, last year was probably the most I ever made in my life. And honestly, that's still not enough. I know I can make more. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I ain't gonna even say how much I made, but I made a lot of motherfucking money last year. And all I can think of, if I done that, I know it's possible to make more. Because what I done really ain't shit. I've seen where I can actually make more motherfucking money. So that's my goal. I'm gonna try to make more money next year. You know, where some guys like, man, shit, I made 50,000. I'm cool with that. I'm hoping I make another 50,000 this year. Fuck 50. Try to double that shit. Try to find a way to double that shit. But a lot of guys don't look at that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, even though we kind of stir off the conversation about the stock, that's why I try to talk to them about, let's do this stock thing. Let's look into investing in stock. Because okay, if you're gonna settle for just working at this job, buy some stock, and that's like more income if everything go right. Look at that as an investment, because it costs less than a penny now, and it might take a couple of years, but you just look at that, like, as you say, look at that as a savings account. Exactly. You bought it in 2019. Who knows? By 2020, that money did triple. It might take some time, but hell, just put it in there and forget about it. And that's what I try to do. I got a couple of applications that I got the Robinhood, I got the Coinbase, I got the Crypto.com, I got the Ameritrade, and best believe I got stock in each one of those. Now they might not be making shit right now, but if it's something that I think that made progress over time, I'm gonna throw a couple of dollars into it. You know
So
what I'm saying? It might not be much.
So look, check this out, right? Amazon. I'm not gonna say the price. They can say they can look up the price of their own. But just when you look up the price, Amazon was I think 97% share at one time. So you figure if you had $100, that was 100 shares. Or a little over 100 shares, maybe 102, 103 shares. When you had 103 shares, you look at the price of Amazon right now today, it'll fuck your head up on how much money you could have had and how much money you blew. And for the niggas that like to be out here for the hoes, it's nothing wrong with flexing for the hoes, but it's a limit. Because just as well as you flexing for the hoes, somebody else will outflex you for them. And still gonna go. But for the women, they outflex each other. Girl, I got a Gucci. A Dooney and Burke. Girl, I got a Givenchy. Whatever that you get. You just doing this to influence other women. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a limit. It's a limit. And you take your extra money and you do whatever else you need to do with it. And it's just that simple. I'm not perfect. I'm good at doing the same shit. You flexing, you going out, you doing what you do, you buy a vehicle. Of course, you like nice things. You want to do nice shit. But it's a limit. Let's look at it like that.
All right, so now, all right, we talked about your upbringing. We talked about just a little bit about the stock. All right, so we talked about business. How do you feel about politics?
So
where you at with the politics?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Educate. It goes to everything I always talk about. In a minute, I'm gonna have to hook this charge up to the place. But educate yourself on politics. So I'm gonna give you a prime example. I like Donald Trump. I like Joe Biden.
Wait. Let's back up. Did you just say you like Donald Trump?
I like the man. I like certain things he do. I don't like the majority of his rhetoric. Notice I said the majority of his rhetoric. I like some of it. It stirs the pot. Okay. First thing I'm gonna say, racism. Donald Trump is for the majority. You know, I'm not saying he's 100%. He's more classism. You know, you can speak to him on this level because you got this much money. But I would rather a racist be a racist in my face than a racist behind my back. Because you're gonna tell me up front on racism, I can feel off the good if you're a racist up front. But if you're a racist like Joe Biden, you're gonna stab me in my back.
So do you feel Joe Biden is a racist though?
JC, huh?
Do you feel Joe Biden is a racist though?
No, I don't feel he's a racist. I know he's a racist.
Okay.
So when you look at the issues with Joe Biden as far as segregation, he wasn't for desegregation. He was for segregation. He wasn't for separating those buses. He wasn't for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. We as black people, not African Americans, as black people, we have Black History Month. We don't have African American History Month. We have Black History Month. So me as a black man, a proud black man, I can tell you right now, these people out here don't care about us. We don't need to have. Look, we protesting, we fight for inequality, we fight for injustice. But the difference about inequality and injustice is we fight for them to say that we're okay with them. We should be okay with ourselves.
Right.
We don't need validation from them. We need validation from each other. We need organization on our own. need pride on our own. We need for black people to be truthful with each other. Everybody who will listen to any one of these shows will tell you right now, we got cousins, nephews, we got brothers, sisters out here doing bullshit every day, whether it be scamming, scheming, killing. We know people right now that's on the whether they get high or selling anything to them. Absolutely not. That's myself included. We get to the point where like, man, that's their business. They keep it hanging with, they my people, it's whatever. But you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Tell them the truth. Tell them the correct way. Dude, you fucking up. You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But back to politics. We fail in politics because we don't speak the truth to our people.
But hold on. Go back to what you were just breaking down about our people. I honestly feel we're like that because of it's been passed down from generation to generation. So that's why some of us out here just doing bogus shit or just fucked up like that because or not together like we should be because we've been taught over the years to be against each other. And it started back to when we first came here. What 16, 19, some shit like that. When we first came here, and we was taught that, you know what I'm saying? As far as like for instance, our black women, they sit up there and watch how the white man beat on the black man, their husband, their brother, the same guy that they was looking for protection. They just seen being bitch, you know what I'm saying? And after so many years of seeing that, it made the black woman look at the black man a certain type of way. And that's I'm
gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna tell you when you relating black women to black men and everything that's going on, it's just that black women don't understand the power they have over black men. So think about it like this: you can ride down any street. You can ride from Roosevelt Road all the way to 115th or beyond.
Okay.
Now, when you ride down the street, niggas with their pants hanging underneath their ass cheeks.
I hate that shit, but go ahead. I hate it too.
And it's the thing. They doing that because women accept that. So if a black woman say, you know what, I want a man with a suit and tie on, you would have niggas standing on the corner with suit and ties on. Because the black woman says she wouldn't accept niggas like that.
Say that again. I need for motherfuckers to hear that shit because you kind of went in and out. Say that one more time for me because I need for people to actually hear what you just said.
So a black woman.
Start back from when you see these guys on the corner with their pants sagging.
So a black woman has power.
Right.
Unknowingly. Power.
Yes.
Right now, you got niggas out here with pants sagging underneath their ass cheeks, which is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You know, that's because a woman thinks that that's cool. A black woman thinks that that's cool for a nigga to have a pair of pants underneath their ass cheeks. But if a black woman said she want a man with a suit and tie, do she know how many niggas will be out here selling dope on the corner, on 79th Street, on 55th, on 51st, on 87, with suits and ties on because a black woman says she's only willing to accept the men that actually wear a suit and tie? It's the power of a woman, and the black women realize the true power of how they can control things. If a black woman said, hey, I don't want no thug. I want a nigga that work every day. There wouldn't be no more jobs. Seriously. Hold on. You talk about Mexicans taking your job. Niggas that have a second job at a car wash where all the Mexicans work at, and then they have a first job at Amazon where all the niggas work at. Niggas will be cutting grass. That's just a truth. It's a truthful statement. But it's I'm not putting a burden on black women, but that's just where it's at.
That's true. So now back to this politician thing, these politics, because I honestly I follow these politics these days, but I don't trust no politicians. I truly don't trust them at all. At all.
So think about it like this, JC. Black people have been taught. And it's informed, it's embedded in their minds to be Democrats. Any Democratic candidate that we have, we automatically feel like that's our savior. And I say, oh, me as a black man, that's our savior. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all these people. Not knocking them. They politicians. They do what politicians do. But what have Democrats done for us? Why is it that you go to a Republican state and they have lower criminal or lower conviction rates or lower shootings? You go to the Bible Belt, Mississippi, Alabama, all of the Carolinas and such. All the Republican states, why they don't have the violence we have? Why is it that the most violent states are Democratic states? Ask yourself that. Why do black people have to be Democrats? Why are Republicans?
Because we used to be Republicans.
I'm not saying they not. But the values are still there that they have. And I feel like me, the young black man, I have nothing against homophobia or anything. But why the laws as far as racial equality and civil equality, why has those laws been manipulated by gays or Mexicans or Polish people or lesbians? Not knocking them. I know lots of those people. Or like Donald Trump say, millions and millions of those people. I know those people, but our people, black people, we got to hit the water hose. We got to be back home. We got to beat up in diners. We got to go back to buses for people to come in that hadn't had their struggle for to actually take advantage of the laws that were passed for us for inequality. You see what I'm saying? That's a lot of it has to do with Democrats. They manipulated us. I'm serious. When you start looking at Democratic values opposed to Republican values, but that's not saying that Republican values are any different, but it has a slight edge. I'm not Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm not Green. Honestly, if you didn't bring up this subject, I wouldn't have been able to bring it up. But I'm just saying, why do black people have to be that actually, to me, keeps us enslaved. Tubman had the same. I could have saved a lot more slaves if they only realized that they were slaves. Light your cigarette.
Wait. Say that one more time for me.
Harriet Tubman said, I could have saved a lot more slaves if they only realized that they were slaves. It's a mind thing. It's all in your mind. Your mind is powerful.
Now that kind of goes back to the Kanye West shit and the comment he made. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about it, Kanye made that comment as far as slavery being what did he say? Slavery was
a choice.
A choice. And
I disagree with that, though.
Now, hold on. My reason. Now, I don't agree with it being a choice either. But when I try to look at it from his point of view, only thing I can think of, the reason why he had to say that, because, okay, let's go back, even though we wasn't there, but let's go back and look at a plantation. On that plantation, you got the masters and you got the slaves. you might have in that master house, as far as the white people, you might have, I'm gonna just okay, you might have the father, the mother, his father, his mother, maybe. Then you got his kids. Okay? He may have a brother, he may have a sister, or his wife may have a brother or sister. So let's just say out of the masters, you got maybe 8 white people on that plantation.
Okay.
Now when we look at slaves, you got at least 20 or better slaves. Meaning you got more slaves than you do masters. Why didn't they take over that house? Why didn't the slaves think like, man, majority rule, it's about 30 of us in here. It's only 10 of them motherfuckers in there. We can take them. So when he made that comment, I'm looking at it as maybe he made that comment thinking like that. Like it was a choice because, goddamn it, they could have overtook them. Not saying I don't agree with what he said. It kind of offended me, you know, when he said this shit. But I'm just trying to look at it from his point of view. Maybe he said it because of that. Because when you think back at it, it was more slaves on that plantation than it was the master. Why didn't we fucking take over that motherfucking house? And
okay,
each other house?
So look, you know, I've been telling all these stories because I've been here. And I'm gonna tell you this story because you can relate to me. I don't know if you do this or not. So we got to run. They go to Canada. Okay, I didn't want to do the run at nighttime because it was a place I've never been before. And when you at a place you've never been before, you at a disadvantage already.
Yeah.
So you got people coming here that's been exchanged from Africa, and I'm gonna have to take an intermission to hook up my car in 1 minute. So you got people that's been exchanged from Africa. So hold on. First of all, let me explain this and remember where we left off at. A myth amongst black people is that we were stolen from white people as slaves. We were not. We were exchanged. We were exchanged. Remember that?
Right?
Huh?
We was traded because we was already slaves over there.
We not. Some of us was. So basically, if you look on the west coast of Africa, and I think Obama was in one of the buildings, like a trading post thing. So those people over there were sold from Africans. I remember Nas used to always have to say, like, we came from kings and queens. We did. But all those kings and queens and all those big kingdoms and all that extra shit, they look, you come from a king and queen, they have armies. Correct?
Right.
They have armies. So when they capture people in war, when they capture people that owe them money, when they capture their debtors and they capture POWs, what do? They sell them to the white man. I'm gonna have to take individual. I got 1%. And so give me like 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, y'all. We basically finna take a little quick break. Till my man come back. I know y'all got to work with me now. Like I said, I don't know if everybody follow me on Facebook, but I'm on Facebook as under AOM, All Opinions Matter, as well as me, myself, Johnny Cook. For those that don't know, yeah, my name is Johnny Cook. So you can find me on Facebook as under Johnny Cook, on the Instagram under Johnny Cook, or on Instagram as All Opinions Matter, AOM, All Opinions Matter. But like I posted before, I'm not perfect, but with a little practice, I'll be all right. So I'm still kind of doing this podcast thing, but it's something I wanted to do. I tried it. I've been trying since Actually, I've been working on this since 2019. I've been talking about it since the beginning of 2019. I started investing in this at the end of 2019, but all 2020 with the pandemic, it kind of slowed things up, and I actually tried with a couple of my guys, but without timing, being kind of off, things didn't work the way I wanted. But I do still have a couple of episodes that I'm still gonna post. I got at least 8 episodes that I've done with my guys under All Opinions Matter that I'm still gonna post. All I did was switch it over to so this on the couch with JC is more like a spin off All Opinion Matter, because basically this is on the couch with JC where we talk about any and everything, and all opinions still matter. Now you don't have to agree with me or whoever I might have as a guest. You don't. It's just our opinions. You know what I'm saying? And we all are entitled to our own opinion. You know what I'm saying? The best thing I can do is not try to, regardless of what I say, I'm not trying to offend nobody. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with my guests. We only speaking what we feel is the truth, or what we feel. You know what I'm saying? It's not to offend nobody. I wouldn't have nobody on here just purposely trying to offend anyone. So basically, it's just our opinion. So just work with me. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get better. It's gonna get greater later, as we all say. On that note, I'm just waiting on my man to come on back, and we gonna do this thing. I actually like this shit. Having a podcast. Just to talk to other people and learn from them. Hey, I'm not here trying to teach anybody anything. You know what I'm saying? Although you may learn some shit from me, I'm just here to have conversations with people and honestly learn from them, as well as you guys learning from them. We can all, you never know too much where you can't learn something. I learn some shit every day. I went to a funeral today. I want to say rest in peace to Tamika Townsend. She was somebody I went to high school with. She was good people. She was good people. We wasn't that close in high school, you know what I'm saying? She was like a year ahead of me, but after high school, we got grown, and some of us kept in contact and started partying at Weston House. Shout out to Weston House. That's the high school I went to. Some of us started kicking it, and yeah, she will be missed, because she was definitely good people. She was an angel. She was a sweetheart. I have my memories of her. So yeah, I know a lot of people, and it's a few funerals I probably wouldn't make it to, but I definitely had to make it to her funeral. You know what I'm saying? Show my respect, because she was never mean to me. She was always cool and genuine. I could tell she genuinely had love for me. So yeah, I had to show my respect to her. So shout out to all those from Weston House, the warriors that showed up to her funeral. You know what I'm saying? All right, look like my man is back. Let me add him back on. Okay. All right, so basically where we left off at, we was talking about the politics, and then we got into slavery. I want to say where you left off at. Where did you leave? I just went into a whole thing, just talking to the people and stuff, talking about my day. Hell, it kind of threw me off from what you was where you told me to remember. Do you remember what you was last talking about before we got into the slavery thing?
We were just talking about.
We were talking about politicians. But you was hitting me off with a very interesting story that you know what I'm saying. And you told me to remember Shit. I honestly don't remember what the hell. Yeah, y'all gotta forgive me out there, cause hell, just like Marcus, I'm over here sipping too. I'm over here sipping too. But basically, we was talking about these politicians, and like I said, I don't trust politicians, but I honestly, like I've been voting since I was old enough to vote, but I really stopped paying attention when Donald Trump got into. See, you say you like him, I really don't care for him, but I just stopped paying attention to these politics until he got into the chair, because I'm looking at it, how the fuck he become a president when he wasn't a politician?
Influence. Remember, I was telling you earlier. At the end of the day, well, see, look. At the end of the day, the root of all influence, as well as the root of all evil, is for the love of money. The love of money. So people always say the root of all evil is money. No, the root of all evil is for the love of money.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not for money. We all like money. But we know people that love money.
Yeah.
So it's just that, man, politicians use anybody they can to get elected for the most part. Because some of these elections, its powers is higher than the president. Then they influenced by money. One thing I do agree with Donald Trump is that this election was rigged. But it's not like the rhetoric. Yeah, because look, think about it, man. Think about it. Republicans are for what? They're not for taxes. They're not for to tax everybody with all this money. Democrats tax everybody. Man, there's so many bills that get passed every year, and you would be so surprised to see they pass stimulus bills. Everybody got loans. There's so many other bills that you never know about. Because they put so much money involved in so many pilot programs, so many grants that they give out. You don't even know. You don't look at what they pass.
Pull back from the mic, because I hear you, but it's like I don't know if you're too close to the mic or what.
How about now?
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah. It's so many things, man. You can look online. I don't know where. But you can look at a lot of stuff online. See what bills being passed. There's a lot of bills that slowly taking our rights away. Not only as black people, but as Americans. And you got to remember, as black people, like we should get the Confederate flag. Not only did the white folks flex in the Confederate flag down south, have family members that died in them wars, we did it too. We had family members that died the Civil War that was on American soil. We had black people that went that knowing they were going to die. Black people don't think about that though, because we get manipulated about politicians, politics. This whole cancel culture. Think about it. If you say the wrong thing, how in the fuck can a comedian get on stage and now they can't say the word faggot?
Yeah. Everything is sensitive now. Everything.
But for the majority, that came from Democrats, who we support. How much sense does it make?
Hell, I didn't know that. So you got me thinking like, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is fucking sensitive now. You gotta watch what you're saying. I actually, when I first started this, I started recording first because I was too scared to go live, because I didn't want my guests to say the wrong thing. Just in case they did, I can edit it out. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't say the wrong shit these days. The littlest thing can set somebody off. When back in the day, you can say what the fuck you want. It's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's what this whole show is about. It's all opinions matter. And everybody is entitled to their own opinion. If you're not feeling something and you feel a certain type of way about it, you should be able to talk about it without somebody getting offended by it. But these days, the littlest thing can set some motherfucker off. It ain't got to even be about gays. It can be about some other shit, and it can set that person off where, hell, now you cancel. Yeah, this cancel culture, this Me Too shit. Speaking of Me Too, me personally, as far as Bill Cosby go, now I can't speak on R. Kelly, but as far as Bill Cosby go, the shit that let's just be real. Now I'm 45, and I remember that Spanish Fly shit. I remember that used to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit to get hot. And I also know how it was back then to it is now, where no matter how you look, if you was a celebrity, man, if you was, no matter, you can look like shit. But if you're a celebrity, the women flocking. So, like for instance, I'm gonna give Wesley Snipes, not the prettiest motherfucker, but back in his what's that movie? Blade. Women flock to Wesley Snipes. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me Bill Cosby had to drug a motherfucker to have sex with him back at the time when they said that they been drugged? Back in those days, Bill was on top of his shit. He was at his prime. He was as a black man, he was like one of the top black stars back then. And you mean to tell me he had to drug a motherfucker to have sex with him? I just think that's bullshit. And what happened to statute of limitations? That shit don't apply no more. He didn't murder nobody. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck is they?
I'm gonna tell you this. Like, first of all, you gotta remember, it's women out here that's getting away. You know,
it's what now?
It's women out there that's giving away the pussy.
Yeah.
But power is a powerful tool, dude. So look, when I say power, you gotta remember, Michael Jordan daddy got killed. And I'm not no conspiracy theory. These are just my opinions, you know, on how things work. So Michael Jordan daddy got killed. Michael Jordan was kind of, you know, having a foothold in the NBA. That's another conversation, but let's keep on the back. Bill Cosby was talking about buying CBS.
Right.
CBS. Charlie Boy Sam.
Right.
He had the money to do it. He didn't have the correct people. So you fuck around with some people's money, they gonna let you know you shouldn't have fucked with our money till you die. I just read an article the other day. Bill Cosby got denied parole. 87. He got denied parole for some bullshit. So they sending a message to other people. When you fuck with us, you gotta fuck with us correct. And more than likely, it's hard for a black man to come correct. Look, my friend had a friend. Black, you gotta be right 10 times over. And that's the way it is. Period.
Yeah.
You can't get around that, man. And that's what happened with Bill Cosby. He started playing around with the wrong pockets. You gotta be prepared for that type of stuff, man.
He should have did like Oprah. Fuck trying to buy CBS. He should have just tried to start his own shit. Cosby Station. You know what I'm saying? Hell.
Yeah.
The BILL station or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Start his own shit instead of trying to shit.
That's why people I don't really knock. Knock them. Is Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
They came
Yeah, I got much respect for him. Especially Tyler Perry. A lot of people knock Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock his hustle. You can say whatever you want to say about that man, but shit, look where he at now. You cannot knock him. And regardless of what he built that over there in Atlanta, he built it, and I hear it's bigger than Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Possibly better than Hollywood. And what he do? He had a lot of black motherfuckers there. He opened up doors, regardless of what they say about the man. Because a lot of motherfuckers, I've seen a lot of these podcasts where a lot of people say, fuck him. But why say fuck him? You know what I'm saying? Instead, I try to get to know him. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. Maybe they said fuck him because they did try to get to know him. He kind of brushed them off. But he don't seem, I don't know him personally. But from what I see, he don't seem like a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see a person being an asshole starting some type of a place like Hollywood in Atlanta where there's a lot of blacks and hiring a lot of black people there. And what they say, a lot of those movie, a lot of the places up in that what he built is named after a lot of famous black people. I don't see him being that type of asshole where a lot of motherfuckers be like, fuck Tyler Perry. Or, man, he only did that because he dressed up like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people talk about how, you in order to make it in Hollywood, you gotta dress up like a woman. So they or play a gay role.
Yeah.
So they look at like Marlon because he done Big Mama. They look at Will Smith because he played a gay role. Who?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? But shit. Fuck that. If I was an actor, I don't know if I'd play a gay role, but if I was playing a role like Big Mama, I'm all for it. If because I think I can play my grandma real well. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with being an actor playing that role. Now the gay role, nothing against gays. You know what I'm saying? I have a gay sister. I acted 2 gay sisters. Hell, and I love them to death. I don't down them. It's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock them. Hell, I don't treat them no different than the next motherfucker. If you piss me off, I don't give a fuck if you gay straight. I'll cut your ass out. You do, as long as we good, as long as you on my good side, I'm cool with you. I don't give a fuck what she is.
Yeah.
But I just play that role. So with Tyler Perry, hell, I don't, man, please. He a fucking, I don't know, is he a billionaire?
I don't know. I know he's close.
He up there. He's fucking up there. All right, so future. As far as the future goes, what is your business goals for the future? What is your goals for the future?
You know,
and you pretty young, and you doing damn good for yourself in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I'm in my 40s and I'm still trying to catch up to your level. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Well, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You know, I'm still searching. I don't want to get into nothing that I don't know nothing about, and I don't have a passion about. My charger's not working. Let's see if I can fix this.
You clear as hell right now.
Yeah, but I'm back down to 1%. I got from like 5% to 1%. But I'm not really. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really No, I want to get to something that I can pass before, and I hate being content where I'm at. You know, we make pretty decent money what we're doing. But I want to get into something else. I would rather be an in-home trader. But in order, So, you know, it'd be, you know, I be straight from home all day, you know, investment stockbroker. But I don't have the time, you know. That's one thing about people. If you're trying to get into trucking takes up 95% of your time. So me sitting at the couch at home on the couch right now, it benefits me so much. It's like West what I never had, you know, because I've been doing these 6 days a week, most of the time 7 days a week. So a vacation is treasure. So if I go on vacation, I spend the first day of my vacation relaxing the whole day, maybe just chilling, you know. So I would say 95% of the time is what I would say. But you're going, you know, trucking, what to capitalize correctly, you're gonna really be booked on time. So I would desire as a day trader, trade stocks, and be comfortable. You know, be wealthy. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. And there's a difference between being rich and wealthy. Rich is just rich. But you wealthy, you have wealth. You know, you learn how to build wealth. That's what you really want to be. That's what people desire. It's more desire. You still do work. Rich is just rich. You know, you're doing all types of stuff, blowing money. You're not the style. But when you're wealthy, you still working. You still challenging yourself mentally. But when you're born into some riches, the true wealth that's different from what we're talking about, it's different. You know, so I'm not saying I got time. Time waits for nobody. But I still want to, you know, find the correct thing that I'm familiar with, that I'm educated on, and along with being educated on and familiar with, I want to have a passion for what I'm doing. Okay. So you got to really, you know, tread softly in what you're trying to do.
Okay. I mean, hey, that's a good one. I mean, my goals for the future, hell, I'm still trying to. Owning my own truck, I can say I'm my own boss, but I want to really have some type of trucking company. Of course, I got this podcast thing that I'm going to still continue to push, and it can only get greater later for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to continue to do this until it get better. But, yeah, my passion, which is, hell, in high school, I wanted to be an architect. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they didn't work out for me because once I finished high school, I wanted to be a rapper. And then went from being a rapper to, hell, a truck driver. And truck driving, like I said at the beginning, truck driving pays the bills. I kind of like what I'm doing now because I've been truck driving for 16 years. I've been an owner-operator maybe 6-7 years. And I'm just now starting to really love what I do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because, like I said, I had over the couple of years as being an owner operator, I'm finally owning one of my trucks because the other trucks I was paying on them. And hell, my first truck, as soon as I paid it off, 2 months later, it took a shit on me. Right after I paid the motherfucker off, or was it 2 months before I paid it off, it took a shit on me. Either way, the motherfucker was paid and it took a shit on me. Get to my next truck and I didn't even have it for 5 months before it took a shit on me. So I like this trucking thing. I know it can make good money. I can see me adding my family in onto it. You know what I'm saying? Where this can be a family thing. And as far as like having a house in this generational wealth, I can see me having a trucking business. And as long as I teach my kids or somebody in my family how to do this, this can be a generational wealth thing for them, you know? So that's my goal as far as business-wise. I'm going to stick with the trucking. And whether it be semis or straight trucks, box trucks, what have you, that's what I'm going to shoot for. That's going to be my thing right there. That's going to be the thing I'm really focusing on. I got my old lady, she doing the brokering thing so we can keep everything in-house. You know, and I always tell it to people that's into this truck shit that say, man, I'm going to get my own truck. The next thing I do is like, man, you need to get somebody into brokering so you can keep all that shit in-house. Because once you get you a broker on your team, and if it's a family member, whether it's your girlfriend or your sister or your brother, once you get all that, now all the money coming into in-house, now you can go. Now you can really explode. Now you can really get bigger. You know what I'm saying? Once you get everything in-house. So that's my business goal right there. You know.
Yeah, that's a good business goal, man. You know, but I say, you know, just by from the people I met, the key is not being content. And when you get content with something, what you say, JC?
Not settling.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, definitely that is the key. But I mean, it's never too late. Because had I been thinking like this 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I'd probably already be there. You know, I started late because I was in them streets at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But after being in the streets so long, losing people that's close to me in them streets, and just realizing that this street shit ain't gonna get me nowhere. It looked like I lost my man, and yeah, he said he was at 1%, so he died out. So on that note, y'all, I want to thank y'all. I want to thank my man Marcus West for joining my show. I think that was a good one. On that note, peace out. Thank you for joining On the Couch with JC. All right, y'all have a blessed night.